7 days before my wedding. My mother cancelled everything. Not one thing. Everything. The venue. The food. The flowers. Then she called my fiancé and told him I was damaged. On the day of my wedding, 200 guests showed up. To an empty field. But what my mother didn't know. Someone had been preparing for this moment. For 6 months. And what she walked into next. She never saw coming. But to understand how it got that far, you have to go back to the night everything started. It was a Tuesday. No big proposal. No crowd. Just a small kitchen and a man who looked at me like I was home. "I don't have a speech," Nathan said, holding a ring he saved months for. "I just know I want every morning to start with you." I said yes before he finished. For 11 minutes, everything felt perfect. Then my phone rang. My mother. I answered, smiling, expecting excitement. Instead, the first thing she asked was, "Where's the wedding going to be?" No congratulations. No emotion. Just control. I told her we hadn't planned anything yet. And that's when it started. "I'll handle it," she said. And here's the truth I didn't want to admit. My entire life, she had handled everything. Every decision. Every step. And after my father died, saying no to her felt like betrayal. So when I tried to push back, she went quiet. Then softly said, "I understand, you don't need me anymore." That guilt. It worked. It always worked. So I gave in. And in that moment, I didn't realize something important. I hadn't just said yes to help. I had handed her control. And that was the moment she started planning something I couldn't see yet. At first, it didn't look like control. It looked like help. Phone calls to vendors. Small suggestions. Tiny changes. But slowly, everything I wanted disappeared. I chose wildflowers. She replaced them with white roses. I wanted simple food. She said it wasn't appropriate. Even the guest list changed. My future, quietly rewritten without me noticing. And every time I tried to speak up, she cried, "I'm just trying to make this perfect for you." So I stopped pushing. Because it felt easier. But Nathan, he noticed. He didn't argue. He didn't complain. But I started seeing it. The silence. The distance. The way he stood still longer than usual. Then one day, my mother invited him to lunch. Just the two of them. I thought it was a good sign. It wasn't. He came home, sat across from me, and said something that changed everything. "She told me you're unstable." My stomach dropped. She told him about my lowest moment in college, twisted it, and called me damaged. I could barely speak. "What did you say?" I asked. He looked at me and said, "I told her I see someone who survived." That moment. It broke something open in me. But instead of stopping, she escalated. Soon, people in town started treating me differently. Pity. Concern. Distance. My own story, being rewritten behind my back. And then Rachel, my best friend, said something that didn't make sense at the time. "Don't react to anything your mom does. Trust me." I didn't understand. But I listened. Because something felt wrong. Like this wasn't just interference anymore. It was a plan. And I had no idea how far she was willing to go, until it was almost too late. 7 days before the wedding, I made one simple call. Just to confirm the flowers. "Your order was cancelled." My heart stopped. I called the caterer. Cancelled. The venue. Cancelled. Every single vendor. Gone. By my mother. I called her immediately. "You cancelled my wedding." Her answer. "I cancelled a mistake." I couldn't breathe. "That wasn't your decision." And then she said something I will never forget. "Everything about you is my decision." That's when something changed inside me. Not panic. Not anger. Clarity. For the first time in my life. I saw it. This wasn't love. This was control. I hung up. And I didn't call her back. I sat on the kitchen floor, not crying, just empty. Until Nathan came home. I told him everything. He didn't panic. He didn't yell. He just said, "Then we figure it out." 7 days. No money. No vendors. No plan. Nothing. Except one person. Rachel. When Nathan called her, she didn't sound surprised. She said, "Don't call anyone. Give me 48 hours." That should have scared me. But somehow, it didn't. Because for the first time, I wasn't trying to fix everything. I was letting go. And what I didn't know yet, Rachel had already been preparing for this, months before I even realized I needed help. And what she revealed next, changed everything about my wedding and my life. 2 days later, Rachel showed up with a folder, a backup plan, a full wedding, venue, food, flowers, everything. She had planned it 6 months ago, the moment my mother took control. I knew she'd try something, she said. I couldn't even speak. She didn't just save my wedding. She gave it back to me. And then came the final detail. Everyone would get the new location. Except my mother. On the wedding day, 197 guests arrived at a beautiful garden. Flowers I chose. Food I loved. People who showed up for me. And my mother. She went to the original venue. An empty field. No guests. No wedding. No control. She called everyone. No one answered. Because for the first time, she wasn't in charge of the story. When she finally found the real location, she was stopped at the gate. Her name wasn't on the list. She stood there, watching the wedding she tried to destroy happen without her. And inside that garden, I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't controlled. I wasn't damaged. I was free. Because here's the truth I learned that day. Love doesn't control you. And family doesn't own you. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is stop asking for permission. Now tell me, if you were in my place, would you have let her back in, or left that door closed forever?